Turn my headphones up. Louder.
Here we go. We got a special guest in the building. Episode 41 with our guy Shali. Shali.
What's
Thanks
good?
for coming on, my brother. So
course.
Shali, for the people that are watching this, may or may not know him. Majority you probably will, especially after watching this podcast. You are the owner of Anaka Power, correct?
Power, yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and give him his intro. He's about 6'7", takes Congo subs, jack and stack, self-made entrepreneur, came out here, had a dream, went after it, never gave up, never quit, and now he's here thriving and surviving, and guess what? He's been through shit, it's taken time, and he never ever gave up, but guess what? He's sitting on this episode of Daily Dose, and he's gonna tell his truth.
Yes,
My guy, how was that?
That was amazing. 10%.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It made me feel a lot better than I actually was before I walked in. So
Yeah, we gotta elevate the powers.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you don't drink or anything right now going on. Is this a sober thing you're kicking off, or just a new year, new you, Shali?
New year, new me for sure.
Okay, okay.
Last year and the years before that, I turned to drinking a lot because of business stress.
Okay.
I'm talking about like after a day of just like, whether it was firing employees, spending a lot of money on inventory, finding out there was something wrong with this part of the business. I would come home from work and it would be normal for me to like consume like 3/4 to a whole bottle of wine in one night. And it got bad, and I was telling myself that it was okay to do it because I was working out hard, But, now that I don't drink at all, I'm seeing a lot more progress in not drinking. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Once December came and January came around, I was like, you know what? This year I'm gonna lay off the liquor.
I love it. Well, I asked that because as people watch the show, we do our daily toast to toast it off with. And, since you're here, I'm going to go ahead. We're just going to give you, because you take the Warrior, right?
Yeah,
the recovery. How do you like it?
I like it. I like the orange one.
Okay.
I drink the orange one. I actually drank the orange one this morning.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So we just got the biggest drop of the summer. This is our second product. We launched our creatine.
Okay.
Now we got the pink lemonade. So
Okay.
I'm assuming you haven't
tried
had
that one
okay.
yet, no.
So we're gonna go real time action. We're gonna do pink lemonade shot. There's no alcohol. That's yours, Sally. Congo sips. Real time action. Then we'll get this thing rocking and rolling. Appreciate you, dog.
Of course. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. True pink lemonade.
Hell yeah. So, bro, I always preach about, going after your dreams, and I talk about our supplements, I talk about the company. We'll get to more on that. But I think, one, for me, it's going to be good for me to hear your story, because I don't know a lot of it. I just know you're a successful brand that's called Anaka, and I think you sell clothing, and I aspire what you've done from a business standpoint. And that's really all I really know about it. You're a bodybuilder as well. So I guess what I want to get into, what got you, actually I had this plan, Charlie. I want to know these emotions. I do things in real time. So recently it was your 7 years of Anaka, right? And we were honored to be included in that. And I want to know, when this video plays,
Get this off the ground and get it going.
just for reference.
There's still a lot of room for improvement. And
Yeah.
As time progresses, Anaka's gonna rise to the top. Very confident with that. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I love all you guys. The power that you send comes from within on the back. Anaka logo, you have the purple heart, so into it. All the people around.
So that's a little synopsis of Anaka, but take me back to what kind of got you there. What's running through those emotions, seeing 7 years of what you've created, and I only know some of it, and there's probably a lot of bad shit along the way too with all this.
So Anaka started off, with, it honestly wasn't even like my original thought.
Okay.
So, I was doing the bodybuilding thing for a while. I was, obviously doing really well at it, and then at the same time I was also documenting it on YouTube, and I was getting I was building a huge following from doing that.
What years was this going?
This was like from 2013 to 2017. Like I was like just killing it on YouTube.
Okay, and how old were you?
I was It's funny, I have to think about this now. 2016, 2013, I was 21 to like 25-ish to 26. Those are the years where like I was like super prime YouTube, like super prime. I'm talking about like, you know, there were times where I was doing like 50, 60K per video.
Damn.
70K per video.
And this is all from
bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding off of YouTube.
Yes, bodybuilding. I was literally just taking my camera around, or I had a camera guy, that Samuel Solis. He would follow me around and just take, you know, just record me all day, and we would upload it to YouTube like once a week. Yeah, yeah. So from that, I had my business partner today. You know, at that time, he wasn't my business partner. He was just a family friend.
Okay.
He came up to me and, you know, he would come to my apartment and just kind of like tell me, hey, I have this business idea. Like, you know, I think that we should, you've met him. You met Sam. He comes to Kango like sometimes.
The camera guy or the?
No, it's darker black dude.
Okay, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so at the time I was living in like a 600 square feet apartment in the Heights, and you know, he would always ask me to come to my house and just like talk about business, and I'm like, cool. So the first time he came over, he was like, yo, you know, I have this idea of starting this fitness accessory brand, so knee sleeves and lever belts.
Okay.
And I was like, you know, that sounds good, but you know, there's already Strong and all these other brands. I don't think it's gonna hit. So I would like send him home, you know. He'd ask to meet me again. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, man? Like, I'm still not feeling it. Like, I like the coaching. I'm making 6 figures. Like, I'm killing it. I'm good, man. Like, I'm about to move into a bigger apartment. I just got my first car. Like, I'm chilling, you know. Third time he comes back and he has like actual samples, kind of like that belt right there, like, you know, the Kango belt that we're looking at.
Oh yeah,
he comes with like samples and a box full of like knee sleeve samples and wrist strap samples, and I'm just like, okay, you know, this shit still looks horrible, but you know, you've been very persistent and you won't give up, so
yeah,
let's chat. You know, I give him the time to chat
for sure.
So then we start chatting about it, and you know, at the end, he's just kind of like, you know, and I've been thinking, since we're both Nigerian, you know, I think it would be cool to like have the name, you know, derived from some sort of dialect in Nigeria. So we just start thinking and stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay, well, you know, we could go after like the animal route, you know, find an animal that like, you know, is strong in the Nigerian dialect and just kind of go after that. So we come across Inaki, Inaki, which means gorilla in Yoruba. Okay. Just a dialect in Nigeria. And, you know, we kind of just like keep saying it, Inaki. We're like, man, we don't like the way that sounds. So we changed the I at the end to Anaka. And, you know, we kind of just stuck with it. And in that moment, you know, we kind of just discussed finances and stuff like that. We kind of devoted, you know, at that time, like all I had in my savings, I devoted it to it. And, you know, whatever he had in his savings, he devoted to it. And it was a pretty scary time. But, you know, we launched from that conversation. It took about a year for us to finally launch. And that was like June 2017. We finally launched June 2018. And we sold out the first day.
Damn.
Yeah. 1,000 pairs of knee sleeves in one day.
So your first everything with the Naka was just knee sleeves.
Knee sleeves. The OG gorilla ones, yeah. I don't even know if you saw those, yeah.
And then what year was that?
2018.
Okay, so 2018, I was in Houston. So this is so like, I didn't know about you guys at all. That was like a whole different part of my life too, dude. 2018 through now.
I don't think the gym was up yet.
No,
right?
not at all.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like where we're at in life and now, and how we've aligned. 2018, I was just about to get kicked out of the gym I was at, and I didn't even know about Alpha Land at the damn time. That's how in my world I was in. So 2018, and how old were you when you started this company?
So it's 2025 now. I'm 32. I was 27.
Okay.
27.
So you're already making $50K off of a video before 27. What is it?
I was 25. 25.
Okay, 25.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're bodybuilders over here. We don't do math. We just do other math. It's 20. So 25.
25. Yeah.
And were you like? Did you guys get? I know at 25 it's different, but did you ever guys get anything with paperwork between you and him? Like who's owner, who's taking? Because when you start making that type of money,
it's a great story.
What people don't understand is that because before you go on with it, that's what me and Taj had to have hard conversations with our team. Like, Taj, we know you love each other. You guys are brothers, but since you guys are 50-50 owners of Congo, we're going to have to go through these lists. If this happens to you, what's like, so we got that shit out the way before we even started making money. So yeah, proceed.
So, great question. And this is hopefully if you're a business owner or you're aspiring business owner, you can listen to this and learn from both of us. But, you know, when me and Sam started, Inaka just blew up. And I'm talking about like, I think year one, for a company in that era to do like 6 figures year one, under 6 months, I think we did about, because we launched knee sleeves, sold out. We launched leather belts, sold out. We launched leather belts again, sold out. We launched wrist straps and shirts, sold out. I think about that first year, man, we probably did about...
It's a super, super pleasure of ours to be partnered with Legends because we live it, we breathe it. Congo20 is the discount code. You get 20% off. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the Daily Dose podcast. Follow Legends, and shout out to DeAndre Hopkins and Todd.
Just like 300,000 or something like that. And for me back then, that was a fuck ton of money. I was just like, whoa,
Yeah.
I remember the first night we sold out, I went to the club and like, I think we dropped like, just stupid. I think I dropped like 20K at the club. I don't know how, but we did. And, I shouldn't have done it at that time, but like, I was just so happy to like,
Hell yeah.
make that much money, and, so get back to the question. 2018, we had a big year. 2019, we did like, just above that, maybe like $500,000. And then 2020, COVID year, was like our year where we really exploded. We did about, just about 2 mil. And then after that, 2021, we did about close to 10 mil. So, I mean, the point of what I'm saying is that we were exploding so fast that paperwork never even crossed our mind. And I remember there was a time where we sat down to do taxes with at the time, our CPA. And, I just kept seeing, when we did taxes that it was only his name, like on the return. And I just kept asking myself in my head, I was like, you know what, maybe it's like that because he's the person that signed up or whatever. I didn't know.
Yeah, you're 24, 5 years old.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, you know what, like maybe it's just like that because he's the person that whatever, eventually I had to like ask, I was like, hey, is there a reason why like on all these documents, like it has Sam as like the complete owner and like I'm nowhere to be seen, like after all the taxes we've been doing, I'm nowhere to be seen on any of this.
Okay.
She was like, oh, because, under the Texas Secretary of State, he's listed as the only owner. And that was just like my coming to Jesus moment where I was just like, oh, heck no, like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So me and him had like a really very short but rough falling out for about like a month or two, where I pretty much told him that, hey, from this day forward, since we're using my platform to grow this business and my connections, I'm not pushing this shit no more until we get this shit situated.
Yeah.
So like he understood. I think it was an honest mistake on his behalf because we were blowing up so fast that we didn't know what we were doing, and we were both new to this whole business thing. So like we quickly got that situated. We had a long, hard talk with our CPA. We did like the whole like I forgot what the word is, but we did like a whole agreement where we like specified the agreement, specified what would happen if we split, all that stuff. So it took us about 3 years to get that situated. So for 3 years, about $10, $15 million in, I wasn't even an owner. Yeah. I was just like a spokesperson. And if he was a bad person, he could have really like screwed me over. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But we got it all figured out. And, now you can go everywhere. You can see that we're joint owners.
Yeah, it's good that you saw that because that's really how people don't know. Even athletes, even like big time athletes that make these investments or partnerships, they don't know, or they have somebody look over it. So like we do that. It's crazy what would have happened. Damn. Yeah, so business owners, get your paperwork, understand there's more to it, and what it sounds like too is blowing up very, very fast as a company is something you wish for, but you probably don't wish for because it's not.
Man, if I could go back, I'm thankful for the way everything happened. If I could go back, I would have much rather had like a gradual blow up. I feel like we blew up way too fast. We blew up way too fast. And I say that because like I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. it turned me into a person that like, you know, I don't know if you remember me when I first started coming to Congo and versus now, like different person. You know, I was very like, I was a dick. I was just like flamboyant and just very like, just like not a good person. You know, I wasn't humble at all. I was just like, you know, I had this very like, I'm better than you because I make money mentality. Had so many cars and just a bunch of stupid stuff, you know. That's why I feel like if I could go back, I wish that I could like, you know, do it in a way, if there was a way I could construct my life, I would do it in a way where we kind of blew up gradually through hard work. I feel like my social media platform was kind of like a cheat code in my connections. But it is what it is.
What was it that got you, you know, you talk about pre-Congo when I kind of met, and then now where you're at in life. What was it that made that flip of the switch for you to be like, what the fuck am I doing? Or why am I doing this stuff? And like, what made you start thinking that way?
When business was going so well and we were making all this money, you know, you're just on this trajectory where it's just like green, 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 green. And then like we had a very tough year. And I believe that some of the tough points that we went through in Anaka was because of like my distraction from the business, because I was just not the right person. So because of the money I was making, I was so invested in like, instead of like, I guess putting it back into the business or like, focusing, putting my head more into the business. I was a lot more interested in just like going on trips or buying the newest Ferrari or buying the newest Lamborghini or buying this. And so for me, it took hiring a good CPA and an advisor, a friend of mine, to really sit me down and just, kind of go over the years of Anaka and what I had done and what I had done wrong and how close I was to like losing everything I had built. And I remember in that moment, man, like I went home and I like sold all my cars. Sold my Lambo, sold my Ferrari, sold my Raptor, sold everything. I just felt like, I had a come to Jesus moment where I was just like, man, what the fuck am I doing, man? Like,
Hell yeah.
What am I? Like, I have a $20,000 car note every month. I have a $15,000 house note. Like, what am I really doing? Like, I could be spending this. I could be putting this back in the business. I could be, saving it, I can be doing so many different things. So I think to answer your question, I just had that moment where someone came into my life and just sat me down and told me that, hey, what you're doing is stupid. And it's how a lot of like athletes or any wealthy person goes broke, They just think that they're invincible, and then one day they wake up and their bank account's empty, and it's just like, oh shit, well, remember when you had 6 cars and 2 homes and this and that, and you traveled every 2 months? Yeah, that's why it's gone.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I could see the fast lane and fast life, but dude, when you're making that much money, it's hard to tell a motherfucker no or tell him to stop.
Yeah.
See, Sly is totally an emotional dog, right? Mm-hmm. So you started speaking about your bad times. Swear to God, bro.
Wow.
You started speaking about your bad times, and he came up over here and started licking you. I swear. That's how he is.
I was kind of feeling that in my head. I was like, okay, maybe he felt like my passion or something like that.
Hop was on the show, and he said, that's when we found out.
Yeah.
He was out in the show. He said, but it's all right, though. He knows my.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in, dude.
Wow, that's cool.
He really knows.
That's amazing.
So,
Dogs, man.
Boom.
Man's
Sly is a healer. So his foot was there and his ankle was hurting, and Sly came over, laid on, and then Hop said he's a healer. And so anyways, you're talking about your story.
Yeah.
So there he is. That's Sly. All right, Sly. Enough with the lick. We were just talking about, the switch in your life. Mm-hmm. I admire that because I don't know how you found out about us, but from afar, how I operate, that's what I want my following to see is I take pride in, the Kobe, the LeBron, these type of mentalities, and really living it and pushing it to the future and the generation, and knowing that, trainers like myself and my family exist, and it's not all the shit you were talking about, but all this shit you're talking about is another world that provided you finances and money and bodybuilding and all that, I was never around that or wanted to be around that. And especially in the fitness realm, I'm like, if you're going to be a fitness trainer or a fitness influencer, I feel like Regal Pool, summer's just better with a darn pool in your backyard. Regal Pools builds award-winning custom pools for families across Houston, made for memories, built to last, like America. Ready to get started? Call Josh at Regal Pools and tell him Dose sent you, or see their links in the show notes for more information. The other stuff has to come with it, how you live and operate. So I admire that you made that change, because I operate like that every day, like being humble, working hard. I always talk about waking up broke every day, and someone's gonna, take my spot. Is it true? I don't know, but I like to know that someone's behind me, and I like to know that my eyes are forward and I'm working 100%. On, the greater part of what's on this other side.
Yeah.
So that you got my admiration for that.
Yeah, no. And it's funny you say that. I feel like a lot of the transition, a good part of the transition of becoming who I am today versus who I was in the past, was obviously, inspired by the ways of like you and your brother, like the way y'all wake up every morning and kind of commit to like, attacking the day with like that, I haven't won yet mentality. Every day is a new day to conquer. Like life isn't something that's just given to you. It's something that you have to like work for and earn for. If you want to remain number one, you have to work for it. It's not just going to be given to you. For the longest time before I became who I am today, I felt because of the certain money in my bank account or the certain money I made per year or the certain revenue mark that I hit, that like number one was given to me. At any moment, whether I'm asleep, awake, in a plane, in a boat, whatever, I'm number one because of what I've done.
Yeah.
And then just snapped after that conversation. Yeah.
That's good, man. What was your first thoughts when you came to that first workout with us? What the fuck were you thinking?
So I remember when I came, it was like, when y'all open?
So we opened December 1, 2020.
Okay, so so I was, but were y'all doing like trial classes before that?
It was not really trial classes. It was just our soft opening, if anything. I think that's what it was.
I think I came to like something in like November-ish. Were y'all in there in November?
Yeah, so there was probably the soft opening. For the first 6 days, we were like kind of like rolling. Okay. And then we had a real actual
I know I came
launch.
in November because I remember, I have a photo and I remember coming at that time. And I remember I came because of Mike and Sam.
Okay.
They wanted me to come in and do like YouTube and stuff like that. But okay. I remember, obviously I think I came in and I was like, I'll never fucking do this shit again. I was like, nah, hell no, this shit is not for me. But at the time I was still chasing my pro card. So when I walked in, I was just like, damn, this is like a different level of training. Like bodybuilding, you get to like rest and like take breaths and stuff like that. But like, it was intense. So for me, I just did not want to come back. I'll be real with you.
He didn't want to come back, and now look at him. He's running miles. On the Peloton.
Now I come like 5 days a week to camp, or 4 to 5 days a week. Yeah.
So again, what made that? And I love that too, because it's like, were you? Correct me, Charlie. I really don't know much about your bodybuilding career. Were you like a great bodybuilder, or like?
Yeah, I would like to say I was.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. Because even when I talk to people about this, a lot of people don't even know the difference between like open bodybuilding and like what I did, which is like physique. I'm trying to think of who I could. Who Jeremy Buendia is.
Oh, I know the old
So there's
guys.
really there's no
the Arnold, the Joe.
Yeah, that's like real bodybuilding. So I guess you could say I did like more of like the beauty pageant bodybuilding is what people would say, but it's still like an Olympian stage ordeal.
Physique.
Yeah, I did physique.
Okay,
men's physique. So in the 10 years of doing physique, I never really came in less than like third place. I think one time in my life I came in like fourth. But I never really lost on that stage. I was pretty good. Okay,
so before you get into that, what I'm curious is, I know we were talking about the money and NACA and how your social media took off. You're making this money. What was your inspiration in fitness? Did you have like, obviously me, fucking Stallone and all that. How did you get into bodybuilding? Like, what was your did you ever say I'm going to be the best bodybuilder in the world and go after that, or it just kind of happened?
You know what's crazy? I never had an inspiration in bodybuilding that made me want to like become them. I kind of just fell in love with the gym because I quit basketball my senior year of high school because
Okay.
me and my coach got into it, and I felt like super empty, and I felt stupid because I didn't want to quit. I was just like trying to prove a point. But you know, I remember that next week after I quit, I was like, okay, I need to find something to do. And I joined like the local gym in my neighborhood, and you know, I started lifting with some other high school friends that didn't play basketball. And you know, I just started falling in love with it because I needed something to like do.
Yeah.
And you know, I quickly fell in love with it, and I got approached by a trainer at the gym, and he asked me if I wanted to compete. And I was like, what is competing? And then he kind of showed me the whole thing. This was like 2013. And I was just like, you know what? Fine, I'll give it a shot. And all my friends were like laughing at me and stuff like that. And you know, I went through with it. I fell in love with it. And then from there, it was just kind of like, how can I be better the next show?
Cool.
I never really had a bodybuilding inspiration. I did have a friend named Christian who was doing the same thing as me at the same time at the same gym, and we kind of just like bounced off of each other in our love for the sport, but I never had an inspiration. Yeah.
That's actually more applause to you because you didn't really have the inspiration or motivation to do it. You were just naturally living it.
Yeah. I was just, yeah.
Because I spoke last time with him. It was Goggins was talking about it. He's somebody saw him, right? And he wasn't trying to film this or anything. And he's like, you saw me doing what I was doing, right? The kids were like, yeah. He's like, that's the motivation. Me doing it is the motivation. No cameras, no nothing. You saw me doing it.
Yeah.
And here you were, no Arnold or whatever to look up to.
Yeah.
You were just putting in your hours and doing it and working it.
Yeah.
So you got what'd you say, a third in your first?
First ever show, man, I can't even remember what I got. I think my first ever show I got like second or third.
Okay.
And then the next time I came and did the same show, I think I got like first. And then from there, I moved on to NPC, which is just the well-known competing agents or the competing league in America. And my first ever show, I got fourth place. And then from there, man, I never lost a show again. And I just kept killing it. The only show that I remember losing was the show that I was supposed to get my pro card the first time. I ended up losing to a guy who actually won the Olympia like 2 years ago. But, you know, I lost to Aaron Banks. I came in third, and he came in second. And the pro card giveaway was for the first two spots, and I came in third, I think. So, yeah, that was the only time I had lost after that. But, yeah, I was pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah. And then in that world, are you guys making money like that yet, or is it more of a passion thing? How does that work? Were you making money being a bodybuilder and winning like that?
I was making a lot of money my own way through like online coaching. So there was a time in the fitness industry, not so much anymore, but there was a time in the fitness industry where like if you were winning shows or decent at competing, if you launched a coaching platform, it was the easiest way to make money.
Really?
I'm talking about like throughout my competing career, I had about 200 clients at one time, all paying me like, I mean, I don't know what the math is, but I was making like $40,000 a month.
Man.
And all I had to do was wake up on Sunday, and it sucked. But there's always a pro and a con of everything. But on a Sunday in my apartment, I would like lock myself in from like 6 a.m. to like 8 p.m. and respond to like 200 emails. But that's all I did. That was my only work. And then throughout the week, I would just film YouTube content and post it. And then on Sunday, I would come back to my computer, answer all those clients again. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I made money. You don't get money from like competing. Like unless you're competing in the Olympia, that's when they give you like, you know, $100,000 checks or $500,000 checks. But yeah, no, there's no actual money in the sport. Yeah.
You basically elevated, not you, but you're that era you're talking about probably elevated the sport because of your winnings and look up and all that.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, I want to learn from him.
Yeah.
Damn, man. You really created your own little.
Yeah. I've
never really seen that.
Yeah. That was my way of, because at the time I had quit working for my dad, and, you know, I quit on a really bad term to where I was just kind of like, if you don't give me a raise, I'm going to go, you know, make money my own way. Uh-huh. And I remember when I quit, I was like, fuck, how do I make money? How do I make money my own way? And, yeah, I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to take this coaching shit seriously. And it was crazy because I didn't expect this kind of explosion. But I remember when I competed in my 2016 show, and I came in first place. I launched my coaching platform after, and it just went berserk. And that's when I realized, okay.
One of our sponsors is Stevie Warren, your Houston real estate pro and fellow Congo warrior. Listen, you don't come to Congo for easy workouts, and you shouldn't settle for a pushover agent either. When it's time to buy or sell, you want someone who can handle the heat and fight your battles. Call Thebe. If she can survive Congo, she can handle any real estate hurdle. Save your sweat for the gym, not your real estate deal. Call Thebe Warren.
This is how I make money through what I'm doing.
2016 was a good year, huh?
Phenomenal year.
Cleveland,
Yeah.
this is for you.
So the same house that LeBron and Kyrie won was the same house I launched my coaching platform in.
Really?
Yeah. I remember the day.
Damn.
I remember the day. I remember I was living with Christian. So me and him were living together, and he was the one that pushed me to start it because he was the one that also pushed me to quit working for my dad. And I was like, bro, I quit. What's next? He was like, all right, win this show. After this show, launch your coaching. It's going to blow up. And I was like, nah, man, I think you're overselling it, dude. I remember after the show, that next day I launched it. And yeah, and that was around the time the playoffs were going on because it was in the summer. I competed in the summer. Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you call yourself then? Are you a coach? Are you a trainer? Are you a entrepreneur? Are you?
I guess I'm an entrepreneur. I just don't like just throwing around that word, you know?
Yeah.
But if anyone were to like, I guess, define me or describe me, definitely an entrepreneur because I hardly do coaching anymore. I strictly do Anaka, you know? So I guess entrepreneur for sure.
Oh, that was what I was going to ask you. So when you were winning, Anaka was up and running, right?
So I was winning and I was doing coaching, and then Anaka took off in 2018. So coaching started to like, before it was like coaching, and then Anaka blew up in 2018, and then coaching started like taking the back seat.
Okay.
And then eventually in 2021, I was like, yeah, fuck the coaching shit, bro, I'm done. And I was just stuck to Anaka, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then, so I would consider you as an entrepreneur, but that lane you guys are in is just a different world. So because I know you know Joe Bro, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I figure like guys like him, you, and then the guy that you were just with, damn, what's his name? The podcast you were just on,
Max,
and then Christian
yes.
Guzman.
Yes.
I would say you guys would be influencers.
Yeah, we're influencers, and yeah, we are influencers because people are still invested in, you know, we were just talking about this on the podcast before this, like, you know, people are still invested in, you know, when you upload a video and you see how many views you get, whether it's 500, 200, 10,000, 2,000, that's still 2,000 heads. So like, if you're able to like convince that many people to like watch your podcast or watch your video or watch your YouTube video, like you're an influencer because you're influencing all these people. They're like attached to whatever you have to feed them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still an influencer for sure.
I take, I don't know Christian, I don't know Max. I know of Max because I think Priscilla's good friends with his wife now. Taylor, yeah. So I believe, didn't he just sell sour strips or something?
Yeah.
So I draw inspiration from that. You know, I see, what was it, like 500 million, 400 million? What was it?
Nah, it was like
undisclosed.
So there's so many numbers that
Whatever
people
it
throw
was.
out, but it's 75 million.
All right,
It's
cool.
already
Don't
out in
matter.
the public. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
75 million. Don't know you, bro, but you got my respect. I figure he's a local guy, Houston, right?
No, he's actually from Virginia. I actually helped him move down to Houston in 2018.
Okay. Well, basically, how about that? How about you get along with the story of that? Because aren't you, him, and Christian all kind of Avengers together? Or what was the start of that? And were you guys in competition with each other when, bodybuilding and filming? And how did that relationship grow about? Because don't you have a store at Alpha Land too, right?
Yeah, I have a store at Alpha Land, yeah. So Christian and I have been friends. We've known each other since 3rd grade. We've been friends since like middle school because we played basketball together. And then we've been like really tight since like high school, college. So Christian kind of was like honestly the pioneer of YouTube fitness.
Okay.
He was probably, I stand by this, the first YouTuber to like start like recording themselves workout and posting it online. This was like 2009. Like people were calling him weird as shit. Like,
Yeah.
why are you recording yourself in the gym?
He's creating Uber
Yeah.
before it's Uber already.
Yeah, like he was literally like doing some weird shit. You know, everyone would make fun of him. And, you know, he started doing that. We started kicking it together because we both loved bodybuilding between 2011 to 2013. He inspired me to start using my iPhone in 2013 to start uploading YouTube videos. I started uploading YouTube videos. Max was also inspired by Christian to start uploading YouTube videos, but he lived in Virginia.
And you didn't know Max yet?
I didn't know Max.
Okay.
So it became a thing where like I was inspired by Christian, Max was inspired by Christian. So like we were all getting inspiration from Christian around 2014. And, you know, Christian was like, yo, me and Christian were tight. We were like, yo, I have this buddy that lives in Virginia. Let's go fly out to see him. Like, cool, let's go do it. So I went out to spend some time with Max, and me and Christian went out to go spend some time with Max in Virginia in 2014, 2015. And from there, we just kind of like all three just locked in like that. Because we were like the only like fitness YouTubers at that time that like were like really doing shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we like locked in. And ever since then, bro, I mean, Max is like my bro. Yeah.
And have you guys ever did any business ventures together? Because he's got Sour Strips,
Yeah.
and then Christian's an all Alpha Land guy, right? It's all
Alphalete, which is the clothing, Alphaland, which is the gym, and then 3D, which is the energy drink. Yeah.
you guys all got your own businesses then.
Yeah. I think that's what makes our relationship so like unique and cool. Yeah, for sure.
And then your store in Alpha Land, is that something that it was his idea, your vision?
His idea.
Okay.
He approached me and said, hey, I'm thinking about starting a retail center in Alphaland, and I would love for you to have your store there. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. So he, you know, built it out for me, and, you know, obviously there's like a contractual side where like I pay him whatever, but yeah, that's how it started.
See, that's what I talk about too. I don't know if any of this has happened with you guys, but you guys are technically three friends, competitors, technically, if you want to look at it.
Yeah, in a sense.
Was there ever a point in time where anybody got jealous, or was that ever about? Because it sounds like you were very cool with all of them still. I bring it up because I always talk about, say, dude, I've gotten to a point in my life where like people who I thought were like my people. And I'm not at your level of success yet, but we're going for it.
Yeah.
We're just striving for it, and it's like it gets silent, and it's like those people really don't want you to win. So it's like that's where I'm coming at in my life right now. So I didn't know if with them or there's like competition with each other, or from the outsider, or you guys were just all in your own lane.
I definitely see. I feel that competition edge from brands and people outside of Christian and Max, but within Christian and Max, there was never a moment where like we like were like envious or jealous of one another. We were always wanting to be in each other's photo shoots. We were always wanting to wear each other's products. I mean, till this day, man, like I eat sour strips every day. Max wears a Naka every day. Christian wears a Naka, vice versa. Like Christian just gave me a package of Alphalete. Like we're always uplifting each other. So there was never a point where there was jealousy. I think there may have been like times where like, you know, for instance, like Max selling sour strip, I was like, fuck, dude, like I wish that was me. I was like, fuck, like, you know, when he sold it and I found out, I was like, man, well, I guess I got to keep kicking the rock, man. I got some more work to do, you know? That's the only kind of feeling that I get, you know?
Has he talked about that at all with anybody, how he sold it? Or have I missed that?
So for him, he got approached by Hershey's.
Okay.
And they were like, it was a really quick transaction. You know, they approached him, they sent him an email. They asked him to fly out to New York to discuss it. I think he brought his lawyer up there with him, and it was like a no-brainer. They laid down that money, and he was like, "Oh yeah, fuck this."
How long did he have to create the company for?
He started Sour Strips in 2019, almost a year after I started Anaka.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, so that for you people that want to chase dreams, 7 years Anaka. Look what he's doing. Sour Strips, 6 years.
6 years.
And then Christian, so was it the same time as you?
Christian's been doing Alphalete since 2015, and they've done well over 200 million in revenue. Yeah.
Let's take a shot to that one real quick.
And Christian also has 3D too. But I think, you know, whenever I do like podcasts or I do anything and I'm talking to someone, like I always tell people that like I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Christian, you know?
Looking to turn the backyard into the hangout spot for the summer? Regal Pools is Houston premier award-winning residential pool builder. Congo tough, I like to say. From luxury design to flawless construction. If you can dream it, Regal Pools can build it. Book a consultation today.
You know,
It's huge.
I think you and Taj inspire me in a daily like routine way, as far as like, you know, conquering the day and just like really pushing to be the best version of yourself, even when I'm in the gym training with y'all, or like waking up and when I don't feel like waking up at 4 o'clock like that. Y'all instilled waking up at 4 o'clock for me. So like, thank you for that. But when it comes to like the business side of things, Christian is like by far like my biggest inspiration. So yeah, it's when you say that, like, you know, 7 years, 10 years, whatever, like I wouldn't have even thought about Anaka if it wasn't for Christian, for sure. 100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's always good to hear because it's. I mean, I get frustrated with him. I just posted it was Kai. How do you even say his last name? Sanat? Kai
Yeah,
Sanat?
Sanat,
He was
yeah.
talking about, bro, you know how hard it is? Damn, where was it? It really got me because like that's the shit I kind of deal with. He was talking about.
He's a pioneer in his own. He's a beast.
Have you ever met him before?
No, I haven't, but
Really? I figured you probably would have met him by now. I'll have to find the clip. He was talking about, you know how hard it is to find people who, oh, right here, I found it. Perfect.
Hard it is to find friends.
There you go.
Oh, do you know how hard it is to find friends who are generally wanting to see you win? That's hard. People like to see you do good, but not better than them, bro. And it's so hard to just find people that just want to see you win. Just, wow, like, yo, he going crazy. Right. You feel me? Oh, do you
Yeah,
know how hard it is
it's
to
very
find
hard.
When you said that shit, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, that's what's up that all you guys were going
Yeah.
up together and wanting each other to win because it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
It's
at all.
crazy because the people that, so, you know, obviously it's me, Christian, and Max now, and Joe. But Joe's like kind of like, you know, low-key friend because he doesn't really do what we do. But Christian, Max, and I, you know, we had, it didn't always start off with just us three. There was like a time where there was like 6 of us or 5 of us or 7 of us. But the people that didn't want to see us win or that were envious or jealous, they started to kind of fall off the tree.
Got it.
And, you know, over the 10 years or 10 plus years of tested friendship, it's always been us three because we've always, all three wanted to see each other win. Yeah. Like legitimately and genuinely, for sure.
Houston, this is for you.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up. That type of energy.
Man, what was his name again? Sour Strips? Damn.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
It's Max.
Max. Did he compete in bodybuilding too?
He did powerlifting. He's actually fucking strong.
Powerlifting.
Yeah.
There we go.
He can deadlift. With his frame, like if you saw him, you'd be shocked that he can deadlift like 650 and squat about 500 pounds. Yeah.
I got work to do.
Yeah, and he's tiny. No offense, but he is a tiny motherfucker. Yeah.
And then are you actively bodybuilding anymore? It's done?
Yeah, I gave that up in 2020.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
what is the whole myth or not myth of people taking steroids in bodybuilding? Is it? So I'm like, before I go into that, I want to tell you where I come from. Mm-hmm. I come from where the generation of, we weren't talking about, let's go take some roids or let's get on gear. Like it was a cool thing. Like, bro, you got the new shoes, you got the new LeBrons. Mm-hmm. So being now where I'm at now, and I hear people or I watch on social media that how we talk about LeBrons or how I talk about LeBrons is how this younger generation is talking about gear and steroids.
Yeah.
So like that's fucking wild to me. And 2 is bodybuilding. It's an open book about steroids, right? We don't get tested for.
It's a lot open. It's a lot more open now. But yeah, it's never been tested. But people are a lot more, I guess, accepting to it. I mean, pretty much in the league that I competed in, which is the league, it's like I competed like in the NBA versus like the Euro League. Like, so, I mean, in the league that I competed in, it's like normal. Like if you want to excel in my league, you have to take performance enhancing drugs, which means I took it, Christian took it, we all took it. Anyone that's elite in that level and elite in that league took performance enhancing drugs.
So why do people have to hide about it then? If it's just open and like,
I mean, the people that
or
do
deny it.
the people that do hide it today are just dumbasses, and like, if anything, they don't know that they're hurting their brand more than they're helping their brand. But like, I mean, a lot of the people that I follow and know, they've either come open about it or come clean about it, or they're just open about it from the beginning. People that hide it today are idiots. Like, I follow, when you asked me the question of like, who was my inspiration, I almost name dropped this one person, but like, I didn't name drop him because I was like, man, like, this dude is still lying till today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, I can't even like say it. At one point, he was an inspiration to me in the beginning years, but like, the fact that I still see him on social media lying about it today, it's just kind of like, yeah. But it's a very open thing now.
Do you regret having to take it or being, okay, I'm going to have to take it?
It's a great question. So if I didn't take it, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have been able to win all those shows. I wouldn't have been able to like build up the following that I have. I wouldn't have been able to start Naka. I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of what I've done today. The only reason I regret it is because now that I'm in the process of trying to like have kids, that's been a difficult task, because I mean, obviously when you're on steroids, and obviously if you don't know this, when you're on steroids, it suppresses like all your like, you know, for males, it suppresses like your sperm quality and sperm volume and quality. So for me, you know, in the last year or so, it's been, how would I say year? The last couple of months, it's been me repairing that, and that's been, you know, that's when it kind of hits you like in the face, like, oh shit, all those years of like, you know, looking like the Hulk has caught up to me. So I mean, that's the only reason why I regret it. Besides that, nah. You feel fucking invincible on that shit, man. And you
Really?
look great. Yeah.
Like
Mentally,
you just don't feel like you're sore. You don't.
hell
you just,
no. Bro, on gear, like I could do Congo every day of my life and never be sore. I mean, maybe, but you know, just different, you know? Man, it's a sick, and it's a lot of reason why like these bodybuilders end up killing themselves is because like, when they're forced to get off of it, imagine going from feeling like you're Superman mentally and physically and looking it everywhere
and getting
like,
it.
Yeah, and then you know, you have to get off for a medical reason, and now you go from looking like Superman to like, and feeling like Superman to feeling like a normal human being. And a lot of people just can't take that adjustment. And I've been there. Yeah. When I stopped taking all those drugs and I had to come back to being normal Shawley, that was a depressing time. Like, it was a dark, dark time. Like, I remember like just being so depressed and so down, and there was no reason to be, you know. Anaka was making money, everything was good. I was just like, you know, wasn't used to like not looking like the Hulk all the time, you know. But I've obviously balanced out and I feel great today, but it took years to get to where I'm at today. I stopped in 2020. It took me about 3.5 years to like recover, I guess.
So you've been natural since then?
So now I'm literally on like fertility drugs, which, you know, technically they're a form of steroids, but they're steroids that help produce fertility for me.
Got it.
Yeah, which is all, you know, watched by a doctor and stuff like that.
Well, I would commend you to, again, putting in the work. I literally talked about the daily dose this morning. I said, I'm not saying I don't believe in, you know, mental health, because I do believe in it, but I do feel like nobody is willing to put the work in the sense of pushing through it, figuring out, looking themselves in the mirror. And from the sounds of it, it sounds like you went through that and you could have went this way with it, and you decided to go this way with it. I love how you've transformed you know, your life, because from the outside looking in, I've seen that shift. I don't know what it was. I never got to talk about it, but now here we were talking about it. So I'm happy to see that shift. And I think when you reach that potential, I was talking to, you know, Gersh, right, our therapist. We were sitting out here on my birthday, and I was talking about what the type of year of it was going to be for me. I was going to run 9 miles. Okay, this is how my mind works, Charlie. And when I was running the 9 miles, it's like it's going to be a trying year, I can see. I said, this is what he's telling me. It's going to be a trying year. My legs didn't feel right today. there's this guy that's trying to chase me down, I feel like, because I keep looking at my corner. But what I need to tell myself is find what I'm looking for and just put one foot, one stride, get my breathing right, focus on the breathing, right? And then if you can get to that point and you've made it that far of not letting everything around you distract you, and you're not looking back and you're not chasing something, you're just performing, that's the fucking focus. And like that's the focus we all search for every day. Just like Kobe and them, they talk about when the basket's huge and they can't miss. I aspire to find that level of focus and push through and hold that focus. And what I'm getting at is like you had to put the work in, and to overcome the work, you got to fucking be able to push. And nobody knows how to push. And you've had a level of focus to get Anaka where it's at, and mentally not go this way and still be sitting here standing with us telling us your story. Because in the world you're in with followers, likers, unfollowing, putting videos out, living a lifestyle, trying to keep up with this and that, dude, I've seen a bunch of bad shit. And that's why I got so much love. People hate me for the Jake Paul stuff. I fucking admire that guy because I seen him. I didn't even know who the fuck he was from the YouTube Disney boy. I hated that side of him. Didn't even really know. But I seen somebody dedicate their life to the sport of boxing, and how I'm seeing you dedicate your life to overcoming just Shaolin being who he is as a man. And if you can turn that fucking around and put the work in every single day, you got my respect every day of the week. Every day of the week.
I appreciate that. No, I mean, what you said was right. The mind is like the most, I've realized in the later years, like the most recent years, that like the mind is definitely the most powerful thing that you have in your body. And kind of like what you said, like, you know, if you wake up and you allow distractions to like consume your mind and consume your daily decisions, you're probably not going to get anywhere in life. It's going to be very hard for you to get anywhere in life. It's probably going to take you a long time. But if you're able to just kind of like you said, fixate on what you're hyper fixate on what you're trying to improve and what you're trying to better, and you just wake up and you make that conscious effort to focus on that one thing, you will achieve that one thing plus more.
Hell yeah.
It's so rewarding. It's very rewarding.
And you guys are all living proof. Like I said, I don't know Christian. I love to get to know him.
Yeah. You'll meet him for sure.
And then Max, I only know of him because of Priscilla and Taylor. But like I said, you guys got my respect because you guys have done numbers and things that I'm and my family are trying to aspire to do. And I hope, you know, we get there that day. And you guys like you, I'm not tech savvy, you know, and just like, from your world, from the media influencer world, for you to recognize, you know, our brand and our gym and to fuck with it, it means a lot to me, and knows that we're doing something right. And I want to keep going to that trajectory. And I appreciate you taking our supplements too, because I feel like, you know, you've been around the industry. And correct me, I forgot about that. You started your own.
Yeah.
How was that with how did that come about? Pros, cons, what happened? And then I'll talk more about ours.
I've always told myself that, like, you know,
it's all about failures too, man.
Yeah.
You got to keep, fuck, this motherfucker's still here.
Yeah. I was about to say, I've always told myself that, like, when the day comes where I'm able to, like, you know, figure out what day I'm selling Anaka, I think at that point I'll just write a book. Not for, I mean, obviously for people to like read it and like hopefully find inspiration in it and, you know, learn from my failures and stuff like that. But for me, I feel like it'll be really good to just kind of like professionally like recollect what has happened in the last 10 years of my life. Supplements was definitely like, I'm glad that we did it. I hate that, you know, financially, the financial part of things, you know, like just the lessons we had to learn from it financially.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that we were able to try it because, you know, now I just know I know, you know, what it is to own a supplement company, especially with all my friends around me that have supplement companies. I know what it feels like, and I know what the kind of effort and work that, you know, you need to like put into it. So for us, we're a big gym / streetwear brand. That is our bread and butter. And we should not focus on anything else. It took me 2 years to realize that, which was the years that I tried to focus on subs. Quickly canceled that shit out, got back to the clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I love about it too is it took you some 2.5 years, you said?
2 years of
Figure
failures.
that out. But what he said was, he's like, back to focus, know what you're good at, and fucking go in all in on it. And I always tell people all the time, like, Congo doesn't happen without my family at all. Like, I may have came here and all that stuff, but those guys, it's not possible. And everybody has a role. Everybody has a role.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting at is, like, you knew what your role was. You saw this failure, thought we could do it, but I'm gonna hone in on this and go after it. And that's the same thing with us. Like, all of this, it's team, it's family. But it's Taj is really big on all this detail. Like, bro, all this stuff. I don't know if you've ever actually like read it and looked at you when you first when you first saw the branding and stuff, especially coming from you did supplements. What was your thoughts on it?
I mean, first off, y'all have already crushed the marketing branding aspect of like running and owning your own business. I mean, if you walk into y'all's gym, the first thing that y'all get 10 points for, 5 stars for is like the way y'all put that gym together. Even walking in here, it's very like, it correlates really well with the way the gym is set up. So like,
nice.
That's not, when it comes to marketing and just like staying true to the brand and staying true to the personnel, y'all already have that covered down. For me, when I saw this, it kind of just felt like, this is how it was supposed to be. Like, I can't imagine this container looking anywhere, like how else. This is like perfectly put because it matches Congo. Everything that's on this is what I would see in the gym or in your house or anywhere else. So, I mean, for me, it lined up. I mean, this is like a 10 out of 10. If any other brand tried to do this, it would be whack. Like if this was another name, Anaka or Alpha Lead or anything else, it wouldn't make sense. This lines up perfectly with everything that you guys stand for. So for me, this is like a 10 out of 10 container. Yeah.
I mean, see, that means a lot to me. Because again, it goes back to, that's your guys' world. Like, you guys. Sebastian Plumbing. If you need a plumber, Sebastian's our guy. Plumbing problems never come at a good time, but when it happens, call Sebastian. Whether it's a clogged drain, burst pipe, or water heater failure, Sebastian Plumbing is ready to tackle the job with a fast professional service. That just means don't shit down the hole and do too much goddamn toilet paper. Don't stress the mess. Just remember, when it happens, call Sebastian Plumbing at 346-556-6709 or online at sebastianplumbing.com. Or the influencers in that world, right? And I have somebody of your stature to be like, yo, this shit is the shit. And I hope to get that into, who's it? Damn, Max. Love to get Max, send him some if you want to. And then let's give some to Christian as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But like seeing those numbers that he's doing and you're doing, don't know what Christian's doing, but dude, that's what we want to get this thing. And I tell him all the time, I was like, damn, if they can do it. What was the other company that sold for $700 million?
Jesus.
I bring up two. I mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Ghost. What about Ghost? You would know that number too.
Yeah.
Real number? What was the real number?
So funny story about Ghost. I wouldn't say good friends, but I'm friends with Dan and Ryan. We would do Aspen ski trips together and stuff like that.
Okay.
Funny enough, Ghost was started in 2015. So Dan flew down to Houston and met with me and Christian, more so Christian.
Okay.
And, asked him to be their first athlete for Ghost. Christian said yes. At first Christian said no. He was with C4, Cellucor, and they were paying him really well. But he eventually said yes because he was just like, you know what, this could be a good opportunity, whatever. Came down, they gave us their samples. The first ever Ghost pre-workout, I was one of the first people to try it because at that time they hadn't launched yet. He brought it back. He brought it down to us in like a Ziploc bag. And we tried it, whatever. It was good. I think it was like the Swedish fish flavor, like old school flavor, and or fruit punch. And, shortly after that, the brand launched. And because Christian's name was behind it, it blossomed. At that time, Christian was like the biggest thing in the world, I felt like. I mean, he was on People magazine, like it was all over the place. So, it blew up, the brand blew up, and then eventually they started recruiting other people too and worked it up. And, Dan and Ryan are hard workers too. And, I think last year, before the year ended, they sold Ghost for $1 billion.
Yeah, it's there, man.
$1 billion.
I always talk about that shit.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but you can sit here and take it like whatever you want. But you put a Congo product right next to Ghost product, I'm gonna take Congo every time. From a branding standpoint.
You have to. One thing that I've learned with supplements, you have to really attack the marketing angle hard. So it's essentially like a pay to play. So I always tell people like that, like not even, I mean, to y'all too, but like even other friends that I have, like if you're getting into that CPG space where you're like selling products that like people can consume, you know, shit, throw everything into that basket to get that product out there. Like everything. I mean, literally everything. There's a book called It Will Cost You Everything. Like literally everything. Because that's where I've seen the successful people that have dominated in that space. Consumable goods, Max and Dan and Ryan and my friend Hayden. Hayden owns Alani Nu. They just sold for $2 billion. He doesn't work anymore. Obviously, he doesn't work anymore. But they own Alani, the energy drink. And I was texting Hayden 2 days ago, and he was telling me that, you know, his Bugatti is his best car he owns. You know, just conversations like that. You know, and I'm just like, okay, what do I notice about these individuals that like have sold and exited their companies in that space? I've talked to these individuals, or I've spoke to those individuals where like times were really tough. I can speak for Max. Like there were times where Max, you know, 75 million sold it last couple, whatever. He sold it like at the end of last year or whatever. But like there was a point in 2021, 2020 where Max was like openly telling me that like, you know, he only had a certain amount of money in his bank account that was nowhere close to 75 million. Like I'm talking about like in the teens of thousands, you know? So to go from that, you know, and feeling like he wasn't going to make it the next week or the next month to like eventually selling for 75 million, it just goes to show you that like you have to be willing to like sacrifice your damn soul. Because he was down in those days. He was dark and down, but now he's on top. And that story for me is probably the most inspirational, like in business stories, because like whenever things are tough with Anaka, I realize that like this shit's supposed to happen. You know, you're supposed to go through like the toughest times where you question if this shit's gonna work out, or you question if you're gonna make it to the next day, or if you question if this is worth the investment. But the people that make it to that 75 million, 2 billion, 1 billion are the people that stick it through those tough times.
I fucking love it. Truly. I agree, bro. And I forgot about Alani. That's 2 billion. So my Richter scale, I talk about all the time on the show, I would like to sell Congo subs for 1.2 billion. And I feel like we can get there. And I always talk about being one person away. And if I see somebody that could do it, I can fucking do it. Yeah. And if I can do it, I want to put my niche on it and make it. It's never about, for my people, it's never about that money, right? I say 1.2 billion. It's not about getting it and living a lavish life. It's about where I started, bringing my family here, taking that money that we had to get a loan for. No investor would come with us. Nobody wanted to go in and do the whole thing with us. It was always, And then to take that company, do it during COVID, and one of the hardest times, and excel every month, consistency over time, and then take that money to start another company and let that grow. But it's a fucking steady, I'm going to use the word grind. It is a steady grind. And like I said, we're one person away. I was one person away from LeBron. Cleveland, this is for you. Yeah. And I'm one person away from that. Like look at Max, look at Alani, look at Ghost. Like I'm there, man, and I want to get there, and I want to give you your flowers. Yeah. I love to know the story now. Yeah. Like it's great, and I hope people see that side of Shali and not the other side of the whatever the fuck was going on back then. Because this is the side I love. Yeah, for sure. This is the side I love too, man. Another thing to add on top of that is, you know, one thing that I tell myself all the time when shit gets tough, or when it becomes a grind, because it feels like sometimes the grind is like the whole damn thing. You know, you only quit, or you only fail when you quit. You know, business, anything that you do in life, it's only a failure when you decide to hang it up. So you can have like the toughest year or the toughest month or the toughest 3 years, but like until you say, okay, I'm giving up, I'm retiring, I'm stopping this, you haven't failed yet. So
You know, my friends that have been able to sell for the amounts that they're selling at now, it's because like when shit got tough, they didn't quit. So they never failed.
Yeah, and that's why, like I do crazy shit in the mornings. That's why I do the VersaClimber or the lunges, or I'm pushing myself. People think that it's just doing shit to do shit, but it's really I want you to try this next time. Take yourself somewhere physically where you say you can't do it anymore, and think about the goal again and go again and go. And that's what I do every day.
Yeah.
Because you were just talking about pushing through and never giving up.
Yeah.
I want to get to that point of like, I want my legs to say they want to give up, but I want to mentally say, no, you won't give up.
Damn, yeah.
And that's why I wrote that in the verse. I don't know which one you ever used, but it says, I must break you. It's because that thing's trying to break me, but I'm going to break it. And ironically, manifesting or not, I broke that motherfucker. Like I literally broke it. One day we had to get a new one.
Yeah.
So like that's the depths of,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say sell your soul because I ain't going to sell my soul.
Yeah. But you have to really get to that point of like, it's funny you say that because there's moments in that class where like, I have to kind of channel that like, and you probably say the same thing. Like you have to channel that inner beast, like, you know, whether someone's yelling at me on the Versa or whatever, or the skier. And I'm just like, I need to stop because my heart is literally like racing. My body feels like it's about to shut down. But for me, the thing that keeps me going is my mind and telling myself I need to get to that point.
Yeah.
Like that's where, to be completely honest, not because I'm on your podcast, but Congo has instilled that mental nature in me where like, you know, if I was at Alpha Land or any other gym and I was just working out by myself or with a buddy, I don't think I would get that same mental effect of like, all right, I'm near death. I either quit and just keep up this pattern of quitting when I get to near death, or I push through and learn how to deal with like a different level of mental strength. And, you know, lately I've been choosing the other.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then what I say that after that, I say, guess what? Wake up, do it again.
Exactly.
And do it again.
Yeah.
And do it again. And
Yeah.
do it again. And do it fucking every single day until you can't do it anymore or you lose it, because someone's always chasing you. Someone's always coming after it. And I tell people all the time, there is competition. If you want to look at it as it's you, just you. But I like to dig into the motherfucking haters and the people who said I can't do it. And that forced me to believe it. So you're here. Big shout out to Max. Big shout out to Christian. You guys are aspiring entrepreneurs. Say what you want about them, but they've fucking selling and making companies, and that's where you got my respect and work ethic, and you get my respect. Shout out to Naka, and big shout out to the Naka freaking supporters, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are ride or die supporting for you, and we got to see a living proof with all the run clubs, man. That's been fucking amazing. So big shout out to the Naka supporters. Some of you guys know what the Congo way is. I've had a couple of you guys down our toilet just yakking up here when you bring them on over.
Yeah. Everyone that comes to y'all's classes, they say they throw up, but they always want to come back. Like all my athletes and influencers that live in New York and all that stuff. Yo, when we're down in Houston this time, you think we can do that one class again? I'm like, I want to go back. Like, yeah, like it killed me, but it like made me feel good after. And I was like, all right, good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where it's at. All you Anaka followers. Do you have, what's your Instagram? Put all that right here. I don't know if he needs any more help. Flip it though.
Charlie Coker, and then of course the Naka Power, INAK Power.
Bro, we appreciate your support.
course, man.
We'll take another shot and then we'll close this thing on out.
Thank you.
And he got that secret. But I didn't even get to ask you. Did you see the AI stuff that we've been doing for the stuff?
Yeah,
we're
that's
talking about
just-
the market. What's your thoughts on
Just
that?
dope. I mean,
You think we're ahead of something? Not ahead of something? Where do you see AI going with it?
definitely think y'all are ahead of something.
Okay.
I think as people begin to get more and more creative, it's going to start to separate, you know, the beginner AI people from like, you know, what Bacha is doing right now is like he's like really taking the time to like creep into it and like
Insane.
take it to the next level. So I feel like as more advancements come out and as he learns more, I think he's truly going to set y'all apart for real.
Pacha?
Yeah.
You heard it from the man himself. We appreciate you. He's in Vegas right now
Oh, for
on
real?
his bachelor party with Cole.
Oh, that's where they're at. Okay. Damn.
So shout out to our sponsors, Congo Subs, Regal Pools, Stevie Warren, Sebastian Plumbing, Diane Ginsburg. They're all loyal Congo maniacs. Also, if I probably can't do anything with sour strips, so maybe we can do a sour strips
I can get them.
Congo flavor or something.
I can get some sour strip candies there. I don't know about the flavor, but he doesn't really have control like that anymore.
That's right. He's living the good life.
Yeah.
We're going to live the good life. And guess what? Charlie's on the pursuit to the good life.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it! Follow, like, subscribe. Daily Dose Congo. Tell your truth. Charlie, my guy.
Appreciate you, bro.